From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau warned an economic summit today the U.S. president isn't joking about taking over Canada.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says Donald Trump's threats to annex Canada and make it part of the United States are not a joke because the U.S. president wants our critical minerals. Trudeau said this today behind closed doors at an economic summit hosted by the government and its Advisory Council on Canada-U.S. Relations. His comments were meant just for the invited guests, labor leaders, industry groups, and business representatives, but the Toronto Star heard part of what he said because the audio was still being inadvertently broadcast after media were ushered out of the summit. This marks a big shift from the Prime Minister. When Trump first told Trudeau Canada should become the 51st state back in November, government officials brushed it off as a joke. Trudeau now says it's a real thing. Sarah Ritchie, The Canadian Press, Ottawa.
Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly won't say whether she thinks U.S. President Donald Trump's Gaza Strip proposal is ethnic cleansing. Trump stunned world leaders this week, suggesting the Palestinian territory be cleared out and made into a U.S.-owned resort destination. Human Rights Watch and similar groups say Trump's plan would amount to ethnic cleansing. 2 fishers pulled from a capsized vessel off Halifax have died. Their deaths were confirmed today by the owner of the 18-meter fishing boat that capsized last night. A candidate to lead the Manitoba Progressive Conservatives won't apologize for a joke about homelessness. Wally Doddridge told party members he would solve Winnipeg's homelessness by setting loose polar bears from his hometown of Churchill.
Yes, it was obviously made to drive home the point that Churchill obviously doesn't allow people to live on the streets.
Fellow Manitoba PC member Thomas Rempel-Ong was at the event and says there's no reason to joke about vulnerable people becoming bear food. Canada is investing $72 million in satellites to monitor active wildfires around the country. Ontario-based Spire Global Canada will develop the satellite constellation. 7 satellites are set to enter orbit in 2029. The first white rhino born in Canada has now died at a Quebec zoo.
The Granby Zoo says it is mourning the death of 45-year-old Shabula, who has been euthanized following a health decline. She was born at the Toronto Zoo in 1979 and became known for her calm and gentle temperament, making her a favorite among carers in both zoos. The zoo says her health problems multiplied in recent years, impacting her mobility and quality of life. It says efforts are underway to bring in 2 new female rhinos to live and possibly breed with the male white rhino, who was Shabula's companion over a decade. Naira Ahmed, The Canadian Press.
This is The Canadian Press. In sports, the Western Conference leading Winnipeg Jets welcome the New York Islanders tonight. The Jets have won 7 straight games and are tied with Washington. The Edmonton Oilers host Colorado. Toronto Raptors general manager Bobby Webster says acquiring forward Brandon Ingram is an incremental step in the NBA team's rebuild, but Ingram's sidelined with an ankle injury and will not make his debut as the Raptors visit the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight. Veteran pitcher Max Scherzer says he had a few reasons to sign with the Toronto Blue Jays. He says returning to the East Coast makes for an easy commute to the family home in Florida, but he also felt Toronto offers a winning track.
I'm not just playing to play. I want to play to win at the end of the day. So, I really feel like the Toronto kind of offered that. Plus, I knew some guys there on the Blue Jays, so I kind of got some little backstories.
Jays GM Ross Atkins says having Scherzer on the team raises the bar for everyone, including himself. From the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.